So we got Brother Cregory and we got the chef in the building. Salute. Where you brothers from? Brother Cregory, where you from?
Marion,
South
Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina. Okay,
Yeah.
I know Marion, Ohio too, because I used to live in Ohio. Chef, where you from?
Originally, I grew up in a little town just north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, called Aliquippa, PA. But I did a lot of my growing up in North Carolina, in Lenoir County. Deep Run, North Carolina.
Deep Run, North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm originally from New York City, from the Bronx.
Dig it.
And now I live down in Sumter, South Carolina.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, so it's not a big change. I've been here about 5-6 years, but it is what it is. I wanted a slower life, and I wanted to slow down and calm down, and I wanted to relax life, and I sure as hell got it.
Excellent.
Trust me, I got it. So, getting into this conversation, and when it comes to fatherless child, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys represent the child without a father, or the father that's having a problem being connected with his child?
I'm the child without a father, but my situation is different because my father stayed in the home, but he was absent from the home, if that makes any sense.
Absolute sense, brother. Absolute sense. I understand what you're talking about. And how about you, Chef?
I too am the child. Father was in and out of my life. Kind of felt like sometimes he picked and chose, but I was definitely the child without a father.
Right. And for me, I was the child without a father in the house, but he was always lurking around the corner. So I cannot say that I was fatherless, because mine was there. And I don't believe that just because your father wasn't in your life, that would make you a bad father. Because a lot of times, a lot of men will become fathers and they don't want to be the way their father was. So they become great fathers. Some do take on the persona of their father and they disappear. So it's just a weird thing. So Brother Cregory, growing up without a father, and okay, first of all, my question is, do you believe, and this question is for both of y'all, we're starting with Brother Cregory first, do you believe a woman can raise a boy into being a man?
No.
And why do you say that?
Because from a woman's standpoint, and I'm not disrespecting mothers at all, but a mother can tell a child or a boy how she prefers to be treated. But
Correct.
as when it relates to manhood, it's hard to teach manhood when you're not a man, because we all have different perspectives of what a man is.
Facts. And how you feel about that, Chef?
Well, being raised, oldest of 4 boys by a single mother, there's lots of truth in what Brother Cregory is saying, and I think also that there's it's also the circumstance of who the mother is. My mom, personally, my mother was a strong woman. She worked 2 jobs and went to school at night to make sure we had everything we needed. But getting back to can a woman raise a man? We gotta. Every young boy, every young man needs to have that male role model to help. There's questions we have that we can't go to our mothers about. There's things that we need to know that we can't get these answers from the the women that love us in our life. We need a father figure.
Did you have any type of father figure at all?
Oh, absolutely. I had coaches, and then when my mother remarried, my stepfather, he was amazing. Never treated me like I wasn't his. You understand? And he put a work ethic into me and woke up the hard worker in me that I didn't even know I had inside of myself.
Right.
But I mean, that didn't happen until I was 15 though. You know,
Oh
so
yeah, and a lot goes on before 15.
a lot goes on before 15.
Yes,
A lot
sir.
of things.
Yes, sir. And Brother Gregory, you said your father was in the house, but he wasn't there. Is it because he just wasn't affectionate, or he was just a worker all the time? He's always at work, and what was it?
With my father, I'm the middle child, so I have an older brother and a younger brother.
Right.
The affection and the attention went to the other two. And I reckon people were saying, well, you have the middle child syndrome. But it was a coming up through life, I felt like it was an intentional neglect. You did for the oldest, you did for the youngest, but you put me out there on an island.
Right.
But like you stated earlier, it was prime opportunity for me to act out, prime opportunity for me to take it as the status quo, but that wasn't part of me because my mother was there and my mother said, be your own man because you never know who's jealous of your attributes.
Yes, sir.
So she taught me how to stand up as a man. She just couldn't tell me how to be a man.
Right, right. Because like I don't understand sometimes that middle child syndrome. I'm the oldest out of three, but I myself have 7 children, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have 4 boys and I have 3 girls. Now, of course, being a father, you tend to gravitate more to your girl. You're more protective with your girl, of course. But my boys, I was strict with my boys, but I let my boys be boys, and I let my boys understand that anytime they need to talk about something, or they needed to understand something, or they needed something to reveal to them, they could always come to me. Because a lot of people used to find it weird that when my 4 older ones were with me, and we were like on the train in New York, and people would be like, you know, your children are so well behaved. What's so strange about it? It didn't compute to me because my father was there, but my father was direct and to the point, or still is to this day. My mother's gone, but my father was direct and to the point at all times. I can say to this day that I don't believe that my father ever lied to me or my brother or my sister, because he was always straight to the point. Like for instance, my sister said one day, I don't care, I'm gonna kill myself. My father was like, okay, but just don't do it in the house. Make sure you go to the staircase or downstairs somewhere. Just don't do it here. You know what I'm saying? So he was that type of dude, and I didn't want to be that type of dude with my child. I'm hosting, but this is my therapy too, just so y'all know.
Right, dig that.
So you know, so like if I did anything and I got too big for my britches in my house when I was a young kid, all my mother had to say was, "Oh yeah, well I'm about to call your father." And the thing I respected about it, that he would drop everything and he would come around that corner like this, boom. But my problem was when I did something good, there was no congratulations. But if I did something bad, I got my butt kicked. So it was just a little weird. It was just a little weird to me. So Brother Chef, right?
Yes, sir.
How did you perceive women as you were growing up, since you had no father in the house?
I perceive them as strong. That's my mother, my grandmother. That's what I seen from a woman is they handle business. You know, my grandmother, she was the head nurse administrator at the local hospital that in the 70s and 80s was the only hospital in the Pittsburgh area that handled the trauma units, accidents, murders, such as that. So she had to be strong, you know, being a black woman, first of all, you know, and she came from the generation of seeing everything from, you know, with the race riots and segregation and stuff like that. You know, she came up here to Pennsylvania from Alabama when she was 16 years old.
Okay.
So, you know, she had no choice but to be strong. You know, and my mother followed suit with that. You know, she had no choice but to be strong. Like I said, my mother, she worked 2 jobs and went to night school for years to get us out of the projects. You know, so yeah, all I ever seen was a strong woman in the household. But they weren't tyrants. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
They like I have friends who you know, we didn't have the same kind of home life, even though we had the same kind of setup. You know, my mother and my grandmother, they gave us positive reinforcement, you know, but they kicked us around too when we needed discipline. Hey, there was plenty of days, my man, plenty of days.
Yeah.
And I listen to me when I tell you, I earned every butt whooping, every one I deserved.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
but no, it was I think that's why I gravitate towards strong women now. You know, I had to have a woman in my life who she can be okay without me, but we do better together. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Kind of independent. You know, like that's just. I think certain things that you see and you go through as a child kind of hang on to you. Certain characteristics you see and you find in people, and you know, some of them, you know, you want them in for yourself, and some you want to see in your own partner growing up. You know, but yeah, that was my experience with that right there.
Awesome. And when you said it seemed like your father favored the other 2. So was he like harder on you for some reason, or he just act like you didn't exist or something, or what was it?
He acted like I didn't exist until I made a mistake. Then he was hard on me.
Right.
And as it relates to I'm a 70s child. So when it came to my mother was real selective on the praise she gave. I remember when I was real little and I sung the ABC song. And you know, at the end it says, "Tell me what you think of me." And my mom said, "You're supposed to know it." So I can't tell you what I think of you because that's something you're supposed to know. So, and she would always, every day, she would fuss. When you graduate, you're getting out the house. When you graduate, you're getting out the house.
Right.
And I remember one day my mom was like, "Wake up. I can't wait till you get out the house." And I said, "Mom, why are you so upset with me? All I did was wake up." And growing up, she would say stuff like, "You know, you was adopted." And at first, it hurt. And then I remember I was a little boy, and I said, well, at least somebody loved me enough to adopt me. So that started me looking at the glass half full instead of half empty. So as I got older and I started doing things like sports, band, things like that, I noticed they would never come. And my father was that catalyst that sparked in my mother to say, no, we're not going to go out and support him. So as I was leaving for the military. And I said, "Mom, you gonna cry when I get on the bus?" She said, "No. My job finished." So I shook it off. I got on the bus. So I went through boot camp, and midway through boot camp, they'll ask you, who do you want to come see you graduate? So I called my parents. They said they was coming. And that was the last straw where I really knew I was hurt, but I never show hurt again. Graduation day, they had us all lined up in the street, and they put us at parade rest. And they said, when you see your family, go to them. So I'm standing in the middle of the street, and I see all my shipmates go to their family, and all of a sudden I was the last one standing. I was 17 years old in the military, and they did not care enough to come. But my older brother, they would do things, well, my father would do things for him because he was actually my stepbrother, but we was never raised to be stepbrothers.
Right.
My younger brother, he was autistic. So of course they did some catering to him. But as it came to me, I was thrown out there on an island. So that where a lot of animosity from me to my father came from.
Did you like blame it on did you think it was you? Like something you did? It was your fault?
Yeah, because they said it. They said if you wasn't here, we wouldn't be in the situation with debt that we are now.
Wow.
So that's why when I graduated high school, 7 days, I graduated June 2nd, 1992. June 9th, 1992, I was in boot camp.
Wow.
And I stayed away for 2 years.
So you were born, but they blamed it on you that they were in debt.
Yeah. If food was cooked, and I was a growing boy. My mom would cook food. If I ate chicken wings, she would leave 2 chicken wings. I came from band practice. I ate the chicken wings. My dad would be like, "You eating too much. Save some for your brother." I'm 15, 16, 17 years old. I'm growing.
Yeah.
And it was funny. And I look back at it and I laugh. When I went to boot camp, they said, because I had to get parental permission to go in, they said, "Do we need to call social services? Because it don't make no sense for you to be 6 feet, graduating high school and 150 pounds. We got to put you on a special diet to get you to gain weight." So, but yeah, it didn't. I became numb to it.
I have a question.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what do you feel about that, Brother Chef?
Was from Brother Cregory, was the question, was there did they use food as a punishment? Like, if
No,
you didn't,
they didn't use food as a punishment. I started before, I didn't realize it till I was in my 20s. And I took my mother out to eat. And she broke down and she cried. And she said, "Craig, I'm sorry." And I was like, "For what?" She said, "We didn't raise you right. And I shouldn't have never let your father treat you the way he did. He pushed you away." And I told my mother, I said, "It doesn't matter now." Because as I would read the scripture, they did David the same way. Right. So sometimes you got to have a David experience, and you will be set on an island by yourself. And my father died in 2018. I haven't shed a tear yet.
Wow. Why do you think it is you ain't shed a tear yet?
It's not because I don't want to. It's almost like I don't know how to. Because no matter how I was treated, the beatings and all this and the talking down to that I never amount to nothing, no matter what it is, he's still my father.
Right. Do you have children, Brother Cregory?
Yeah, I got 2.
And what's the difference between or how your father treated you to the way you treat yours?
He showed me what not to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He showed me to be more understanding, to listen more. Now, don't get me wrong, I fall into some impatient categories like he used to do. But I always instilled into my children, especially before a punishment, let's go to law school. Tell me why you did this. Convince me why you did this. And if you convince me why you did this, because I made mistakes as well. So I can't always come down with corporal punishment all the time.
Right.
So, and like I said, I realized how my father, how he was, how he spoke down to me. I could even when I came, I'm the only child at work. When I came home from the military on leave, I'm a grown man and I had chores to do, but my older brother, nothing was never required of him.
Mm-hmm.
So when my oldest brother died in 2017, my father died the exact same day a year later. But he said, I don't know why you have my last name.
Mm.
You know how that made me feel?
I can imagine, brother.
I ain't felt nothing. I'm numb to it. I ain't felt a thing.
So even when your brother died, you had no feelings toward it?
I haven't grieved for him either.
My question is, did you resent your brother because of the attention he was getting? And did your brother act that way towards you also because your father was acting that way towards you?
No, I didn't resent my siblings. Mm-hmm. And my oldest brother, he moved out to live with my grandmother when he went to the 7th grade. But he knew that he could do and get away with anything. When he was growing up, he cut every bus tire at the high school because he lost the rap competition. I needed surgery on my adenoids, and tell me if I'm using the wrong language, because I know this is going to be put on, social media. But my father said, I don't care nothing about that Negro. He went and he paid for my brother fine to get the tires fixed.
So when your father made that statement, he was pertaining that towards you or to your brother? Obviously, it was towards you.
Yeah, he said towards him because he didn't want to get him in surgery. He'd rather pay for the brother's fine.
So my mother said, don't worry, son. When you work, you earn your money, you can get your own surgery. So I learned from an early age, stand on your own 2 feet.
Yes,
stand
sir.
Up. And my mother, she gave some tough love because she always would say, Craig, I'm not going to be here all the time. And I took that to heart. So, and my mother died and it hurt. I did cry. I did cry. And then that was it.
So do you feel like you cried because she finally broke down to you and cried to you? Do you think you would have still cried if she was still the same way she was when you were younger?
No, I cried because I took her death personally, because she had a heart attack, a myocardial infarction, because her blood got poisoned because she had an abscess in her mouth. And I begged her, go to the hospital. She kept saying no. So I stayed up one night. I was still living at home, but I stayed up and I wouldn't fall asleep. And she said, Craig, can you get me some medicine? So I got her the medicine and I stayed up. But then something made me go to sleep. And when I went to sleep, she died.
Oh, wow.
And I blamed myself for a while that if I never fell asleep, if I was always vigilant, she wouldn't have left. So
brother, you human. You got to go to sleep, brother.
So
it was going to happen no matter what.
When she died, she had a smile on her face.
Wow.
Because my father mistreated her as well. So my father was more of a mama's boy. So he would do things and she was miserable. And in turn, he would take, if they would fuss all the time, he would take it out on me. But
Right.
what was I supposed to do? Count the days till it's time for me to leave.
Yes, sir.
Survive, yeah. You gotta survive until you break camp.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So, brother Chef, what made you because you seem like a very level-headed and you know, laid back type of brother. What made you that way instead of being, you know, a wild man because your pops wasn't around? What made you just be like, you know what, I'm gonna stay righteous and I'm gonna stay cool with this?
Well, demeanor I have that I carry myself with now, who I am now,
Right.
is not who I was as an adolescent, as a teenager, or even in my early 20s.
Okay.
I was hell on wheels, man.
Oh, okay.
I've always been, listen, I've always been a big kid. I can show you pictures when I'm 5 years old. I look like I'm 12. I've always been a big boy.
Right.
So, okay. The year I hit puberty started for me when I was 11 and a half. I went from 175 pounds to 225, and I grew a foot and a half. Okay, so by the time I'm 12 and a half, I'm the size of a grown man. I'm 5 foot 10 and a half. I'm 225 pounds, and I have no idea what to do with myself. I'm chock full of hormones. We moved to a new school. I don't go to school with anybody that looks like me. You know, we moved to a suburb, and there's not a lot of POC, not a lot of people of color there. You know, and the one person I try to gravitate to is the assistant principal, because he's a black man. I'm having trouble in school. You know, these kids are picking me. I come into school and, oh, what are you doing here? You're too big, or you know, you're brown, and you know, all kinds of craziness. You know, and my reaction was violent, and I was volatile. I didn't start to calm down until I started playing football. It gave me a release. It gave me something to focus on. And that's where I met my best friend, Joe. Him, like myself, had some behavioral problems. His mother was my school teacher, come to find out. And at first, because when me and Joe first met, we butted heads big time. And I was on my way to becoming a bully. Anybody I came across that I felt challenged by, I crunched him like a nacho. I folded him up like a lawn chair. You know, I'm Big Chris. Can't nobody stop me from doing what I want to do. You know, I didn't have, you know, my grandfather was around, but he's elderly. He can't stop me. He can say all he wants, but nobody, who's really going to stop me? My father's not here.
Right.
You know, my father's not here. So I was kind of losing it, man, going off on the deep end. And it took me getting in some real trouble, you know, and being taken away from my family to put some things in perspective for me. I don't have to be a bully. I don't have to be a tyrant. You understand? Everything is nobody else's problem. Like, my problems are my problems. I have to be able to control my own self. You know, I can't sit here and say, oh, Christopher, why did you beat these 3 kids up? You know, oh, they were talking to me. I didn't like the way things they were saying, the way they did this or that. So, you know, I attacked them. Well, if you act on every time you feel some sort of way about that, you're going to land yourself in prison. You understand what I'm saying? Then it took me getting kicked out of school in 9th grade. My freshman year, I wanted to come back up to Pennsylvania, live with my grandparents. You know, I was tired of living with my mom, tired of living with my brothers. You know, I was tired of North Carolina. So my grandmother and grandfather, they said, okay, we'll let you come back up here. And within the first week of school, I was kicked out. So I went back home, and, you know, my mom, she was in the midst of marrying my stepfather and such like that. And they sat me down and they told me, they said, there are certain things we expect from you. And if you cannot adhere to these rules, you're going to have to find somewhere else to live. So me still having chips on my shoulders, I called my biological. Hey, man, can I come live with you? That didn't work out either. We tried. We tried, but I found out real fast, real quick, where I got my temper from. You understand what I'm saying? So I came back home to my mother and my stepfather humbled. You know, head bowed, humbled, and anything they asked me, I didn't give them any more problems about. You know, you cut the grass, no problem. Wash some dishes, yes sir, yes ma'am, no problem. You know, whatever they wanted. And this is also the same year that started of me being a little more independent. And, you know, I wanted a telephone. You know, back then, cell phones were just, you know, it was out there, but it wasn't for everybody just yet. Everybody couldn't have them just yet. You know, okay, house phone, that's your phone bill. You know, now you're 16 years old. Here, get yourself a job. I work with my stepdad during the summers when I wasn't doing football camp, or I was working at McDonald's or whatever little fast food joint around. Started buying my own clothes. You know, my own shoes. I'm a big boy. I'm 6 foot. I'm 300 pounds. I wear a size 15 shoe. You know, we're in the 3X shirt, 4X shirt. We big stepping around here. You know, right. So that coming into graduation and such, and becoming an adult and coming on my own, I started doing security, bouncing. I'm a big guy. You know, now bouncing gave me a chance to crack some heads, scramble some eggs, and not get into trouble. So right. That I had a lot of fun with that at first. Then a couple of assault charges came my way. I had to figure out something to do. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep going down this path. I started working in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Started off as a food runner, something like a server. I take the food from the kitchen and set it up for the server to take it off the tray and give it to the table. And I just kept moving up and paying attention and moving up, paying attention. And then by the time I left that establishment, I was ready to go to culinary school. And the rest is history, man. I found my passion. I found my calling, and I enjoy it. You know, it doesn't feel like work to me. Nice. I mean, it's long. Listen, I put in them 10, 12 hours a day. It'd be long hours, and feet be hurting, you know, back be tight. But everybody don't get a chance to do something they love to do.
Right. Well, congratulations on that, brother. You made it through. You're one of the few that made it through, brother. So that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, the powers that be, you know, God, I feel like he touched me, and it was either listen, or my other two paths were the grave or prison. And I wasn't ready for prison. I'll never be ready for prison. I wasn't ready to go to that grave, man. So, you know, I'm blessed with that. And, you know, now I got two beautiful children, you know, 8-year-old little girl, 3-year-old little boy.
Yes,
you know, I'm blessed.
Yes, sir. Okay. And Brother Cregory, how do you feel that the military helped you out? Did it help you with life and putting your life in order?
Man, no, not at all.
Okay.
A lot of people say the military would discipline you. I personally believe that you have to have some form of discipline before you go to the military. Because the military will only exemplify what's already in you. If you're not disciplined, you're unsupervised to a certain extent. You have access to certain things. If you're undisciplined tendencies are going to come out of you. If you're disciplined tendencies are going to come out of you. So by me being in the military, I saw it as, and it was probably part because I was immature, because I was 17 years old. It was a job. It was a job that I did, and I took pride in it, but there was more to me than just the military. And I felt that, and I sensed that. So the military was a stepping stone to other things. And I was always still trying, because I come from a military family. It was still trying to get validation from my father. Look what I did. And he never acknowledged it. So
Right.
I moved on to the next evolution, so to speak. So I went to college. I got my degree. And he never looked at it. When I said, well, I graduated with my bachelor's. Well, you know, your niece is going to school to do such and such. It was always something else. Or you know, your brother Chris is trying to do such and such. I ain't asked about them. I was showing you something. So it was always a disregard. But one of my cousins told me one time, "You gonna learn. You set yourself up to be disappointed. You knew before you asked him to look at your degree how he was gonna react."
Right.
But am I bitter? No, I'm not bitter. I'm hurt at times, but that makes me put out more effort with my children.
Right.
Now they spoiled. But I messed that up. That's my fault.
Right. 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 Well, I mean, the best thing I can say to both of you brothers is, you know, you made it. That's what's awesome about it. You're still here, and you both have two people that's dependent on you, and you're there for those two people. And you know, and that's the best feeling in the world, man. I'm telling you right now. Even right now, my oldest is here at my house, and you know, and he has a baby on the way. Him and his wife, they just moved down from Jersey, and you know, I'm in a double wide trailer by myself. Like, hey, until y'all get yourselves together, because I love family. Hey, y'all take that side. I'm on this side. I don't bother y'all. They don't bother me.
That's
she's
beautiful.
about to have, and I stay here now in the house and everything because we know any day she's about to drop the child, and it's beautiful, you know, and I'm just like, I just can't. I couldn't see myself just not listening to them. You know what I'm saying? Even at this age, he's 31. I'm 50. He's 31, and I sit there and I just listen to them because they still think they know every damn thing. You know, I'm 6 feet. This boy in here is like almost 6'5". He's a big boy. He's an animal, and he's an avid weightlifter. You know, so he's a big boy. His wife is 5'11". So these are big people in this house, and I just feel like the little dog in here. But I like, because sometimes I tell people, I said, you know, he's the one that brings me back to reality sometimes. Because sometimes I can be a nutcase. I must admit it still. You know, like they say, you take the man out of New York, you can't take the New York out of the man. And sometimes he has to be my reason sometimes. Like, look, Pop, man, listen, this is, you know, and I might be right, but it's just the way I'm coming across with my answers or with what I'm saying sometimes. So I love it. I love seeing them. And I know y'all know how it feels when you see the evolution of your child, you know, from when they were a baby until how their faces change. And then you see their attitudes and the way they are, like, oh, and whenever they do something bad, they're your child when they do something bad. Ask the mothers. They're your child when they do something bad. They're always ours when they do something bad. It's always like that. But, you know, you brothers are all right, man. And I'm glad, you know, and I'd like to thank the sister for bringing this little forum together. And this first show was a powerful show. It's good. I like this. I didn't know what to expect. She asked me about the show and would I come on and start talking with the brothers, and I was like, sure, I'll come on and I'll host. You know, I'll be the, and I didn't know what to expect, but this is beautiful. I love it. I love it, man.
I have to agree. I would definitely like to be included in something like this in the future.
Yes,
It's nice
sir.
to talk amongst gentlemen. You understand? I don't even where I work at currently. You know, there's not a lot of people of color. You know,
Right.
so I find myself doing a lot of education. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Bringing
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of them outside of our culture don't understand who we are as a people. You know, and then also like, again now for myself, like I'm multiracial. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But my mother is black. I was raised in a black household.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I identify, you know, when I write my things down, it's, you know, I'm black man. I'm African American. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
But that doesn't change how society can see us. So like when I come across a lot of young brothers, you know, in my travels, and I try to talk to them and tell them, you know, you gotta gain a skill. You know, college ain't for everybody, you know, but
Right.
you can go to a trade school. You can learn something. You can take 12 to 24 months out of your life and learn you something that's going to pay you well and keep you grounded. Because let me tell you, my knife skills as a chef has taken me from the bottom to the top, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the focus that I've gained, my attention to detail with it. Uh, I wish I didn't wait so long to do the culinary school thing. I wish I'd done it or done anything really. You know, I took too many years off of between high school and doing what I'm doing now, and I could have really got chewed up by life. So when I come across younger brothers and sisters in the struggle, I try to help them out, you know, the best way I can. Try to give them jobs, and but sometimes it's tough. Sometimes you have to learn the hard way. You know, I was one of those people. I had to learn the hard way. I had to hit that rock bottom and dig myself
Right.
out. You know,
Right.
and all sometimes everybody don't make the journey back. You know, and it's a sad thing. But for the ones that do, you find depth in your character. You know, and then you can. For me, it allowed me to understand my mother, and you know, becoming a grown man and understanding my stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, now here I am as a father myself. There's things I can look at in retrospect and be like, oh, like they were giving me the map. I was tripping without a map, but they were giving me the road map, and I just wasn't reading it.
Right.
I didn't have the knowledge to understand what was in front of me, man. And so sometimes, you know, it's the journey of life. You know, it's the journey, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Brother Gregory, what do you do?
I'm
If
one
you
of
don't
the
mind me
intervention.
asking.
No, I'm one of the intervention specialists at a father's place in
Oh,
Conway,
okay.
South Carolina. Yeah,
Oh, brother Cregory, do you know Joseph then, Stiltner?
yeah. Me and Joseph work together.
Yeah, that's my best friend, man. We've been
Yeah,
friends since we was chaps, man.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I've been there 8 years, going on 8 years now.
Dig it, dig it.
And what exactly do you guys do there?
Well, we're a fatherhood initiative that assists and help guys and educate them on the areas of parenting, healthy relationships, economic stability, and general health. And
Oh,
that we're like a one-stop shop for fathers because we can also assist them with either anger management, child support services, visitation, things of that nature.
oh, it's called fatherhood, right?
Yeah, well, the where I work at is called a father's place.
Now, the father's place. Okay, 'cause we have one here called Fatherhood, and there's one in Staten Island, New York, that I have visited called Fatherhood. Because here I have a youth program for children from 6 to 15, and it's
Okay.
called the Layup Program. And what we do is we have certified counselors in there. And you know, God bless the dead. One of our good brothers, Brother Darren, he just had a massive heart attack maybe about a month or so ago. He passed away, and I mean, he was serious, man. He was for the kids, man. I just had on Saturday, I had a big thing because I'm also a campaign manager, and we're running a sister to be the first black and first, well, she'll be the second female, you know, mayor of Sumter. So
Okay.
we had a big festival that I put together on a Saturday, and it was
Nice.
beautiful. And you know, I do a lot in the community for the children. I have my own reading program. It's called a SAM program. No, I wasn't being arrogant. I wasn't being all full of myself. But it stands for Saving a Mind. And I have a deal with like Disney, and I get a lot of books from Disney. And well, since COVID hit, I haven't been doing much, but I'm waiting for things to slow down. So, you know, I can get back with Disney, and, you know, they're giving me a lot of books, different types of books for the kids to read. We help them with their homework. Every other weekend, we take them out, and we want them to see something besides where I live. But this is one of them towns where as soon as you walk into town, you're out of the town. Everybody knows everybody's business. A lot of these kids don't go no farther than from here to Columbia to Florence, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, we try to take them out and show them different places. And, you know, we got blessed with a couple of buses. So we throw the kids on the buses, and we'll take them out to Charleston, or we'll take them, you know, take them to Charlotte, or, you know, somewhere different. One day I do want to take them up to see the bright lights in New York City. And because these kids are coming from homes where it's rough in the house. A lot of single parent homes, of course. And a lot of these kids are rugged, man. These kids are rugged. But I've established myself in there to be somewhat of a damn nutcase. So they leave Mr. Sam alone. But I noticed that now, once we went through the COVID and we had to shut down for a while, when I do see the kids, they miss the program. So which tells me I'm a hard ass when it comes to them, but they appreciate it.
Right.
You know, because I have to explain to them. Sometimes I have, you know, my son comes now to the center, and I say, you know, you see my son? Do you see the size of this boy? You think I'm going to play games with you? You see the size of him? I don't play games with him. You think I'm going to play games with y'all? But they appreciate that they actually have, you know, I guess a man in front of them and telling them. And we have it's like right now we're down to 3 brothers that work in there, and we got 3 sisters now that work in there. And the sisters go in there. They don't play with the girls neither, you know. But we sit down and we talk with the girls also. But at the same time, we let the ladies deal with that, because that's what they need to do. Because the mothers are not. I mean, we have they basically see us as babysitters. They won't even say, "Hey, I'll come there for an hour a month and help y'all out." You know what I'm saying? So it's rough down here in the education system. Garbage. It's garbage. We help them with their homework. We want to see their report cards. You know, we just out here trying to do our thing for these children, man, because I done heard these kids say some things out their mouths that I just be sitting there like, if I can bust your lip, I would.
You know what they say? They say it takes a village, man. You know.
Yes, sir.
Just, you know, don't be discouraged. Keep it up, man. Like, it's I remember going through certain programs when I was a youngster, man, and I can look back now, and I'll equip with the after school program, and I'll equip a PA, Mr. Kenny Williams. I'll never forget him. You know, he put a lot of knowledge in my head, and he helped actually mold certain things inside of me that I still hold on to today. You know, just how you walk into the room, how you present yourself, how, you know, don't come in slouched and sagging your pants. You know, you look everybody in the eye. You come in presentable. You come in ready for business.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, and don't give no weak handshakes. And we're not here for daps and hugs. You know, we're here for handshakes and business. You know, there's a time and a place for everything. And there's no doubt in my mind the things that you're doing with those kids in that community is going to resonate with them. Maybe not now. Maybe not even a year from now. But it might be a decade.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what I'm talking about right now happened when I was 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old. You know,
right.
Here I am a few years shy of being 40, and it still resonates with me. I still hang on to some of those ideas and ideals. So it'll stick with them, brother.
Yeah. Oh, I'm never gonna leave it. I'm never gonna leave it. It just is the parents that's annoying. Because now when you're doing what you're doing, it's like you're supposed to do this. We take your children for free. We
Yeah.
actually drive and we pick your children up and we drop them back home for free out of our pocket. We feed your kids before they go home for free. And they act like, oh, you're supposed to do that. No, what we're supposed to do is when your kid acts up, we're supposed to kick his ass out of this program. But we know they acting up because when they get home, a lot of them, I'm telling you, they don't even like going home.
Yes, sometimes some of them, they home life, something you won't even believe in a sci-fi novel, man.
Brother, they hear the van roll up and they bust through the door, flying into the van. Hey, Mrs. Sam, what we doing today? We doing homework today. Cool. You know, they just happy to be doing something.
I mean, it's something like, you know, we know being thinking men that a lack of education can be a generational curse, man.
Bad.
It can bad, very bad. It can be something that can dig its claws into a family, man, and it can dismantle a lot of things, you know, financially, fundamentally, emotionally, you know. It's tough, man. Like, I do my best around this area whenever they have the food drives and like Toys for Tots and clothes drives. I try to do my best to, you know, provide some of my services. I used to do a lot of cooking at the soup kitchens and the homeless shelters up in the city. And since COVID happened, a lot of things have changed with that. But you know, when you give of yourself, you get more of yourself. You learn more things about yourself. You know, and there's nothing better, I think, than trying to help the community. You know, trying to help the community is such a big thing. Like, if we all just took a few moments, you know, a few minutes and did a little, really show some love back to community, man, like our communities will be a whole lot better. A whole lot better. I like this. I like this forum a lot, man.
I'm willing to be here whenever y'all need me, man, because this is a great forum, and it allows brothers to get stuff off their chest and let everybody know you're not on an island by yourself.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So, and in the things I said tonight, trust and believe, I'm not bitter, not hurt. You know, one thing it taught me was what not to do with my children. So I appreciate this forum, man, and this I believe, I have faith that it's gonna grow, and I believe it's gonna bless a lot of people, man.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Well, can y'all hear me, or do I still sound robotic? No, I'm good. Okay. Yeah, I just want to, before I completely mess up the whole thing and still sound crazy, you know, I just want to say to you, brother Chef, to you, brother Cregory, keep pushing on. You know, I appreciate y'all being here, because what y'all said brought a lot of light to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It brought a lot of light. I learned a couple of things. You know what I'm saying? I learned that a big man could knock some heads off and then become a chef. You know what I'm saying? I learned I learned that, you know, a brother could, you know, have issues at home with parents or whatever and become one of the best fathers in the world. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. And hopefully, I'm not sure how often we'll be doing this, but, you know, I guess the sister will let us know, you know, when we'll be doing this again, and she'll contact all of us. And, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing you brothers again soon.